Hello and welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Antwerp. And I'm joined by Joe Clee, British rider but based here in Belgium. Now Joe, for you this is almost a local show, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's my sponsor's office is just over the road. I'm only 20 minutes away, so it's really the local show for us. It's a nice local show to have, isn't it?
And from your point of view, I mean, as I say, British rider, you ride on the British teams. You were even part of the World Equestrian Games last year, amongst other things.
Yeah.
But you've been based here for some time.
I've been based here for 12 years. Where I am now, I've been for 7 years. But it's great over here. You know, it's really the centre of the sport, the breeding, the shows. I'm very lucky to live where I live. You know, I don't have to travel too much with the horses. So
I was going to ask. I mean, you started out back in the UK in Sussex, with
right.
the lights. From that point of view, you've come a long way since then.
Yeah, okay, coming out here there's more opportunities, definitely more sponsors, more owners, these sort of things. I miss England, of course, I'm a real Englishman, but for the opportunities for the sport, here's definitely the place to be.
And in terms of location for Belgium, I mean, how does this work in terms of globally fitting within the sport?
Well, I mean, the majority of the sport is in Central Europe, you know, the bigger shows, the World Cups, all these type of things. So obviously the standard's higher, and then obviously then that attracts the sponsors, that attracts everything. So it really keeps the money in that side of it, which then the money keeps the top riders in that side of it. So again, it's just a massive.
But from your point of view, I mean, you were in the sport back in the UK. You came over to Belgium. You almost went. You certainly went off the British radar for quite a while.
Yeah.
And now you're very much back on it. What's changed in the last few years?
Well, I kind of had to go backwards to go forwards again. You know, I had to. Go back, reinvent myself, also find sponsors, these sort of things. I think in England it's very hard. I'd say a rich man's sport, but it's very hard to find sponsors and owners. You know, people that ride in England kind of have their own thing and do their own thing. So out here there are, like I said before, more opportunities with sponsors and owners.
And possibly more recognition from the sport, because it's very much more mainstream here than it is certain parts of the world.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're doing well, you do attract these bigger owners, bigger sponsors, you know.
And for like any sport, like Formula One, it is all driven on the fact of it takes a lot to keep an operation going. I mean, how many horses are we talking about in your operation these days?
We've got 19 horses in work.
Okay.
There's two riders, myself and Bernardo Matthias.
Yeah.
But obviously to keep that running and keep us going on a top level costs a lot of money. I'm very lucky. I've got a sponsor, Ludwig Kriel, and his wife Jasmine. And without them, it would be very difficult to compete on this level, week in, week out, with the travelling, the horses, and also it's not just that, but for them to keep the horses for me to ride is also a big challenge, because obviously the better the horses do, the more money you get offered for them. Yeah. So you need someone that's really brave and willing to keep the horses for you.
Well, it's certainly paid off so far. I mean, last year was really your return to the top level from that point of view. Tell us a little bit about how last year went for you.
I mean, last year was a dream. The horses started jumping the World Cup. Dear Bless started jumping the World Cup season. She was amazing. It really felt like I was getting there. And then, unfortunately, she had a small injury at the beginning of the Nations Cup season. And then my younger horse, Utamaro, took over, which was incredible. He took over and he carried it on. So, I mean, last year was a real dream. I mean, you say return to the top level. That was actually my first real solid season on the top level. So that was great. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah. And from now, I mean, we're looking ahead. Yes, you were part of Nations Cup last year. You're now competing on a number of the GCT this year, which is great from that point of view. Yeah. And tell us about the horses we've got there that's driven you, because you've produced them.
Yeah, well, that's the meaning of the stable. You know, we bought the horses when they were young, produced them right the way through. So the Dear Bless, I mean, I've been riding her for 7 years. She's back now, she's in form. So normally by end of June, beginning of July, she'll be back to the top level. Yeah. Utamaro, I've been riding him for 6 years. So he's there, he's really solid. I'm looking forward to a really good season. I've got all my horses, touch wood, healthy again, and everyone's in form. So the Nations Cup season starts next week for me. I'm in Lummen on the team. So hopefully, if I keep doing well and keep getting picked, then I'll keep going, and then looking forward a little bit for the Europeans. Yeah, hopefully I'll stay solid for that.
Absolutely. And from your point of view, though, I mean, you mentioned coming into the top level now, and for me, I've seen you around for quite some time in terms of competing. What's that journey been like for you? I mean, the highs and the lows, and what that determination to stay. I'm going to keep going at this.
It's hard. It is really hard. I mean, to have, like you say, the determination. There's been lots of times where I've thought about giving up, you know, because to find the right horses, the right owners, the combination. I've had a lot of top horses in my life, but then I was not able to keep them for one reason or another. Now, after all these years, it's finally paying off, and I've got some great owners and great horses. But it's not easy, you know. I mean, we see these riders every week at these sort of shows, and that's the glamorous side of it. But you don't see all the hard work that goes into getting there and producing those horses and keeping on that level.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to respect these riders that stay at that level for a long time, because it takes some doing. I mean,
and actually finding the horses, as you say. I mean, you can be the best rider in the world, but if you haven't got anything to ride, you can't go anywhere.
No, that's right. That's right. So these riders that continuously get new horses, I mean, you have to respect them for doing that, because it's finding the owners, finding the right horses, and then producing them, keeping them sound. I mean, there's so much to it.
Yeah.
Here, you watch on TV and you see in the ring, and that's just a tiny piece of it. All the stuff behind the scenes is massive.
But what I see in the smile is that you obviously enjoy what you do.
I love it, yeah. It's my hobby, isn't it? It's my passion. I'm just lucky enough to do my hobby. I think you too, no?
Absolutely.
You travel the world watching show jumping. That's
absolutely.
And now the sun's shining, it couldn't be better.
Well, that's where it all shines in Antwerp. It'll be absolutely fine this week.
It always shines in Antwerp, I'm sure. Always shines where you go.
Well, we're delighted to see you here, Joe, this week. Very, very good luck. And you've got some
very
fantastic horses, and good luck for the rest of the season. And I know we'll be seeing you later on in the season from that point of view. Thank you for joining us, and great to have you near your home from that point of view. And we'll be catching up with many more of our riders here in Antwerp.